Hi there, welcome to my devotion, and I must say I'm a great fan of the light this time of the year. I've had a number of situations in my life where my sense of humor gets me into trouble, but I must admit most of the time people just smile, and it does help with breaking the ice. This week the reading in our scripture, I couldn't help but smiling. The reading is out of Mark chapter 10, and Jesus is on his way to Jerusalem for the last time. This is the time that Jesus is going to get arrested. The whole crucifixion story is going to undertake, so it's his last journey that he's going to do, and Jesus knows it. But I smile by the amount of things that disrupt this journey of his to Jerusalem. You know, you'd think he'd pin his ears back and walk, but there's all these little disruptions along the way, and I cannot help but smile. At one point on the journey, Jesus slows down, gets his 12 disciples around them, and on the road he tells them, guys, I'm going to get handed over to the temple leaders, and they're going to condemn me to death. And I can just imagine all the disciples standing there wide-eyed, and he says to them, and then the Gentiles, which are the Romans, they're going to execute me. Jesus tells them that they mustn't worry because he's going to rise from the dead. You know, and I must be honest, because if someone had to tell me that, I'm not even sure what my reaction would be. But it would be something weird. But you must remember that these disciples have been following Jesus for about 3 years, and I'm still not sure what my reaction would be if I'd been following Jesus for 3 years. But what happened on the road is that two of the guys, James and John, they take Jesus one side, these two brothers, and they say to Jesus, you know, they say to Jesus the strangest thing. They say to Jesus, you know, when you get promoted to heaven, could you promote us to be on your right hand and your left hand? You know, can we ride shotgun with you? Can we be your go-to guys? And to me it's bizarre. And as bizarre as it is, Jesus handles it actually quite well, because I couldn't help but smile when I read this, because I thought Jesus would want to make fun of them or something, because Jesus just said to them, guys, they're going to make fun of me, they're going to whip me, they're going to spit me, and they're going to kill me. And then they come out and ask this most bizarre question, and Jesus answers the question so well, and he tells them that God the Father in heaven is the one who makes those decisions. And still on the road, the other 10 get to hear about what's been asked, and they're pretty irked with James and John. And Jesus, on this road to Jerusalem, he starts teaching them that greatness is not understood the way you understood it. Jesus reminds them that the measure of a man doesn't have anything to do with what they've imagined. The measurement of a person, the greatness of a person is being turned upside down. Jesus says the measurement of a person is not about wealth, it's not about being famous, it's not about the hierarchy or where your status is in the world. Jesus taught them that the measure of greatness of a person revolves around the service that person gives to someone else. Such a cool answer. Because I mean that puts single parents and that puts stay-at-home mothers among the giants of our community. I mean this makes the parents of challenged children and the spouses that lovingly nurse their loved ones to the very end. This makes them giants when we measure greatness. And don't forget this place that we have our 2 Peters in our church, and their title of minister actually means servant, someone who assists or helps. They're also giants when it comes to measuring greatness. And I want to ask you something. How do you measure greatness? And how do you measure your own greatness, your personal greatness, by the standard that Jesus set? So how many kind words do you share with people who don't deserve it? See how many kind deeds you perform for no reason at all, without expecting anything in return or no one watching. Look at how many people you help with your resources without publishing it or without announcing it. That is how you measure your greatness. That is how Jesus measures your greatness. That is how you and I should measure greatness of people around us. So I pray that your measure of greatness becomes like Jesus measures greatness. And may the Spirit of God strengthen you and I to be seen as great in the eyes of God and by the standard that Jesus set. Until we meet again, grace and peace.